Come follow us
on our journey to get a low-budget
DIY
feature film from script
to screen and beyond.
Nobody knows who we are.
Look at yourselves. Realistically, nobody's going to give you that money. Nobody. You don't know who the fuck you are. It's a complete risk. You are unknown.
This is our first feature film, something we're going to do together. You're going to get it warts and all.
For now, you're just some pair of idiots like everyone else.
£10,000 to make a feature film. I mean, how do people do that? I don't know, but I think we're probably about to find out.
This is DIY Cinema Cult.
Alright, so hello Aaron, how you doing?
Oh, nice to see you, Mark.
You too,
Nice
mate.
to see you. Yeah, good. I kind of can't believe that we haven't actually done a in the pub episode after all this time, considering you're now sort of allowed to and all of that. We're still...
We can. I think we definitely should plan that. I want to get an episode where we're in the pub, and then maybe one when we're back in the shed as well, because I feel like I missed the shed a little bit.
The shed's here. It's currently full of kind of kit at the moment, because I came back from a sort of paid shoot type thing. So I'm surrounded by stuff I haven't packed away properly. But I can always make space for you, Mark. So
you're lovely. You're lovely. Well, this is kind of a special episode, because not only is it our 20th episode, Aaron.
Oh, 20th.
20th.
Man, amazing.
It's also a free party special. We're going to dedicate this episode to have a little look at your amazing Kickstarter campaign that I can't express enough what a success your Kickstarter campaign has been for your film, Free Party. How many weeks ago now has it been running for?
So I think it's 30 days in total. So we've been running for 23 days, which is an auspicious in a free party way number.
Yeah.
23 days to be doing that. So we're in our last week, basically.
23 days ago, we did a little record of the launch, didn't we?
We did. Yeah.
So
yeah,
shall we have a little listen to that?
We could play what the moment where it all went live. Yeah. So it's the momentous moment, Mark.
I know. How'd you feel?
I think I kind of summed this up a little bit ago with somebody else about the launch. Is that it's excitifying. It feels like it's 3 years of kind of me basically having this idea in my own head. And now, and obviously, slowly building up the Facebook group and the community around it, and the kind of contributors, and doing the filming and all this stuff. Yeah. And this is like, apart from obviously the film festival interest and Kickstarter's help and everything, this feels like the first time it's going to be actually shown to the world, and. It's terrifying because there's 2,500 people on the Facebook group that might just go, "This looks shit," and then or they might be really positive, or some mixture of the two. So it does feel quite scary, really.
Yeah, and you've had Kickstarter kind of guru help, haven't you? Kind of helping you along.
Well, yeah. I mean, all very Kickstarter themselves have been very helpful, because that was part of the perk of kind of doing the getting this film screening in edit, was that Kickstarter would kind of guide you through the process, which has been really helpful. And then a few other people who've had a lot of experience have kind of approached me and sort of said, "Look, love the project. This is so exciting. I've always thought somebody needed to do something like this. I also happen to be a bit of a Kickstarter guru. I suggest you do this, that, and the other." So there's been lots of fairly informal but really great advice about Kickstarters generally. And whenever you speak to somebody, they give you something new, and you're like, "Oh God, I haven't thought about that." It's a proper mission.
Yeah. So this is the moment. Then, are you ready to do the launch?
Okay, let's go for it. Okay, so
after we've launched, maybe I could be your first official visit to the Kickstarter page, and
my God,
start it off. And
what about that idea? Yeah, I think that feels poetically perfect.
Because then because some people listening might be very familiar with Kickstarter, some others not so much. So we can kind of have a little talk through it and kind of look through what you've got going on there.
Yeah, well, that sounds great. I mean, okay, so I'm going to go to the big green button. So here we go. Good news, your project's been approved. You have a green light to launch, and there's a green button that says prepare to launch.
So exciting. Gink.
Okay, prepare to launch.
Do it.
Your launch date and time determine your end date, and you have 31 days. If you launch now, you will have until Thursday, June 17th, 9:49. Funding is all or nothing. Click the button. Launch now. Ready? 3,
Do it.
2,
Do it.
1.
Do it.
Launch.
What's it saying?
It says the word drum roll. Congratulations. Your project is live.
Wicked. Right, I've got Kickstarter open here, so shall I have a little search and see if
So you should be able to find Free Party a documentary, I hope.
I can see you. So yeah, people looking for you, just search Free Party a documentary by Aaron Trinder.
Oh, God.
0% funded, 30 days to go.
It's not going so well at the moment. Mark, you need to start things off.
Okay, I'm going to back this project. So basically, Kickstarter, very, very, very easy to use, very kind of user friendly. And we get taken straight to your page. We get the trailer, the trailer cut. You've got lots of lovely images on there. Look at that.
Yeah.
You've got everything laid out, your goal, what's the story behind the film, loads and loads of information for people to have a look at.
Yeah.
Bloody brilliant. It's great. It's really, really brilliantly done. Well done, mate.
Oh, thank you. It's a labour of love, you could say.
So there we go. And I mean, the great thing about this is you've really clearly outlined exactly what you might want the money for, your music licenses, the footage licenses, post-production, and you've got all your your rewards outlined as well for people who pledge certain amounts of money, get certain amounts of little goodies and associate producer credits and beyond that, even exec producer credits. So yeah, brilliant. Let's back this project. I'm gonna press my little button.
Yeah. Why don't you go for the £39 option, which I think is quite a good one, because it's you get this amazing merchandise from the era. You get a love cabbage, which is a classic sticker of the Free Party era.
Yeah,
lovely. Which you used to get a sticker put on you once you donated towards the generator if you were at a Free Party. Oh, someone's pipped you to it, mate.
Oh, have they? What's your first one?
Someone's put 123 quid in.
Oh,
look at that.
Look at that. Live. It's happening right now. Okay, I have pledged. So it's 2 people and me. So you've had three donations, I think.
Two, yeah, there you go. Oh, look, there's you. And look, it literally went up in real time. It went.
Oh, so there you go. It's like you've just launched and you've had 3
backers already. And I haven't actually told anybody either yet, so I haven't posted on Facebook or anything. So
yeah, I wanted to be the first, but I just wasn't quick enough. I wasn't quick enough. And there you go. And we had no idea how successful it would be. And I think the clues were there in the fact that I was trying to be your first donation, and I got pipped by like 2 or 3 people before I even got the button pressed.
I know, it was kind of shocking that I was literally fumbling around going, where do you do this? You've got to click here, and here's the big green button. Right, click the big button. Right, go on. Now you're gonna be the first person to donate, and 2 people have already donated. It's incredible.
I couldn't have that prestigious title as being the first one.
But you've risen to the highest of heights because you're now officially a co-producer on the film.
Yeah, well, it was always my intention to put a little bit more into the pot, and I've got to say that it was kind of reading loads of kind of lovely little kind of comments and testimonials and stories from people from your Facebook group, actually, who involved in the Free Party scene back in the day, and it was so heartfelt. I was so touched by how much the film means to so many people, and you've really engaged with a lot of those people online, for the build up to this film. And I just thought, because I know that your goal was, there was this initial goal, we'll talk about this in a minute, of the Barcelona festival. a doc festival that you want to get a cut for. But then there's also the next May is the 30-year celebration anniversary of the Castle Morton free party. And I just thought, I was reading all of these things from people posting on your Facebook group, and I just thought, oh my God, you've got to have something done for that 30-year anniversary. And so that's what kind of drove me, and I'm sure many other people, to put their hands in their pocket and stick some money down.
Well, it's enormously appreciated. I was shocked and flabbergasted. I think I sent you a slightly shocked email when you did put the backing in. But so thanks to you. It means I get to have you as a sidekick at any dues that we get, any screenings. But you're absolutely right that I think the film clearly means a lot to a great deal of people. So like you say, you set an initial goal when you plan something like a crowdfunding. We'll talk about the sort of bits, the nuts and bolts in a way of making a crowdfunder work as we go through our chat today. But you plan for something and you just have no idea. You have no idea if you've pitched it high, low, or if it's about right. And, I remember having a conversation with my other half, Kate, and saying, well, if we reach our initial goal, kind of, if we get to 20% of the goal in the first week, then psychologically, hopefully that will mean that people feel like it's really going to happen, And then day 2, we'd hit the target already.
It was amazing. It was unreal how it just flew in those first couple of days.
Yeah, and I mean, and it for sure is a great deal to do with having a community on side, a kind of group of people who are excited. And I mean, what I think a lot of people who do crowdfunders don't realise is that your ideas may be fabulous. You may come up with an amazing trailer. You may have amazing people in it. You may have a video that is brilliant. But unless you've got a group of people who are excited to see that film before you even launch a crowdfunder, and I mean, they've got to be excited to see it, and they've got to feel very positively and advocates for that project before you even launch it. Then you've got a real uphill challenge.
You are listening to the debut feature film podcast. This is DIY Cinema Cult.
Tell me a little bit about when you started, because how long ago was it you started that Facebook group? Maybe a year or so, year and a half or something like that, was it?
It's actually nearly 2.5 years ago.
Wow, Because what I do, because talking about a group there, I feel like what you've done with that Facebook group, you've really engaged with the group that not only are a very spirited bunch of people, but they as a community have great form in actually making something out of nothing. Bringing parties, creating events. So they were really, as very active people, you've kind of reactivated them in some way by reminding them of that time, and that's what's got them really behind you, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I can't sort of state enough that in the world that we're in, which is saturated with media of all forms, that if you plan to get a project off the ground that's a passion project, then you really need to have an audience for that project before you dream it up. You can dream up a project, you can dream up something wonderful, but then you've got to go about searching for that audience. And this project has always had underrepresentation in the media. It's something which was a kind of in some ways, a bit of an outlaw culture. And that in some ways means that it's the people within it and the people who experienced it are desperate for a kind of a proper piece of representation of their culture and their world. And so, when I came up with the original idea, which was to make a short film about one specific event, I just set up this group as a kind of is anybody out there who remembers these things, because it was a fact-finding group. It was much smaller, but when I started interviewing people, and you know, there's no doubt about it. All of the ills of social media that we know of, this it's been extremely useful as a research tool for me to sort of find people and to connect with both the contributors and the audience. When I started talking to people, I realized the bigger story really hasn't been told. Each individual that I spoke to offered a new side to that story, and I thought, well, I can never tell a definitive tale, but what I can do is kind of collect together and draw some kind of through lines between all of these stories, because there are so many fabulous sides to it. So the group that was set up initially was a kind of does anybody remember this scene, you know, and does anybody know where I can get in contact with this person, and does anybody know anything about that? So it was a genuine fact-finding process 2.5 years ago, and then it's built and built and built, and it's kind of taken on in some ways a bit of a life of its own, but certainly in the past year, you know, partly I think a certain amount of nostalgia for better times during the time where we're all locked down and we're all not able to socially engage with each other, that the group has really taken on a new importance and a lease of life, and that audience grew from, you know, 300-400 500 to now up to over 3,000 people. And they are both passionate about it, and also the experts of this stories. So in some ways, you know, they've become the driving force, and also the advocate for the project. So yeah, for sure, one of the first and most important foundations to building a sort of successful crowdfunding campaign, and that, in a way, that wasn't my original intention with the Facebook group. The Facebook group was there to fact find, but it became a place where people were clearly demonstrating how passionate they were, and I effectively, you know, said, look, we could get this made if people are up for helping, you know.
And I think they were so, from what I can hear from the voices surrounding that, I think they were so pleased to have someone representing their side, their view and perspective of that scene, because like you say, at the time they were so demonized within the press, and within kind of mainstream culture, that and it still hurts today. You can hear in their words today. It's still great, and it still is a very upsetting fact, inverted commas. And so it's nice. I think they just love the fact that suddenly there's someone who's going to be making media in this modern age where we can put films out, we can stream them on various services, not just BBC One and ITV anymore. Suddenly we can have voices, you know, like yours, like theirs, like everyone's saying, well, this is actually our perspective on that whole scene.
And I think what's been interesting is that many within that scene, they know their own story very well, but what they don't, I guess, realize is that there were lots and lots of parallel stories, which kind of came together. So you know, there's a lot of people from within the DIY, which was sort of, you know, from up north and sort of originally from Manchester, Bolton area, but sort of Nottingham based. A lot of people from that scene are passionate about DIY, and of course we love the word DIY. It's sort of fed into our philosophy, and you know, DIY as a concept and all of that is all part of the project that we're sort of undertaking. And it kind of felt like, you know, oh, well, the DIY story is part of the, you know, this story of the film. But then on the flip side of that, there's people from within the traveller community, and they feel like they've never had their story represented well. In fact, they were very demonised in the press. There was a terrible kind of demonisation of their culture generally. And then there was the Spiral Tribe, who in ways somewhere in some ways are more represented in the media, but I've always felt that the representations of them have been incorrect and wrong. So in a way, it's you know, there and even beyond these three groups, there are so many other voices and so many other people that experience those times as being very, very special, that are being fed into the project and helping it all the more rich.
It must have just mushroomed very quickly once you started to get involved and look into this, like you say, from starting with one particular party and then starting to talk to people online and kind of get involved in various communities online. It must have just mushroomed straight away and very quickly.
I think it's in a way, because as a scene, it was a very decentralized sort of scene, as in, it wasn't like one person came up with something like a pop star and then they had loads of followers. It wasn't really like that. It was an extraordinarily decentralized kind of scene before the internet, and so it's all about, I suppose, speaking to to those networks of people. And those networks of people are very connected to each other, because actually that was the method of which the strength that group had, was that they were, back in the day, they would have a phone line and people would call up the phone line. They would find out where the meeting point was and they'd head to the party, or they would meet at certain festivals and they would share ideas, and so they were networks. They were groups and networks. And in a way, I've probably managed to connect to the various different networks. And then in some ways, the Facebook group and eventually the film itself will connect all of those networks, as many as I can, in a modest undertaking of a film of 70, 80, 90 minutes. But it's been about the network effect and connecting to all of these different groups, and them really realizing each other's part of the story as well.
I think another really important thing that you're doing with your film is that you're making that connection, the timeline between then and now, which is very, very important. It's not a story that has an end. It's not like this beautiful scene flourished, then the state kind of stamped it out, the end of the story. It didn't go away. Talk about that a little bit, that kind of connection you're making between the two.
Yeah, I mean, and it's such an ongoing story, because in a way, a lot of the story was about the fact that there had been a decade of a repressive government, and then there was a sense of that this is coming to some kind of conclusion at the end of the Thatcher era, and there was a reconnection with each other. It had been very tribal during the Thatcher era, which was if you were a goth, you hated punks, and if you were a punk, you hated dancer. As in, it was there was cross-pollination in some scenes, and I'm sure there's always exceptions, but generally it was tribal. And then those tribes came together at the end of the 80s, start of the 90s, and there was a feeling of different groups connecting to each other, all in the same space, all in my particular focus, on the dance floor, or not even a dance floor, in a field out in the middle of nowhere, listening to the same music, smiling, connecting with people that you would never normally have talked to, every race, every culture, city and country, rich and poor, black, white, Asian, everybody in the same space. And it was a unifying culture, and it was where music had this power back then. And it seems to be a very strong reaction to the oppressive times that it came from, as a reaction against. And then that in some ways bled into when it fractured into different kind of directions after the criminal justice bill and the oppression of the sort of particular party scene, and also the traveller scene, very strong oppression of the traveller scene. Afterwards, it split into a multitude of different directions, and they spawned their own cultural story, and some of that was very much along the party line. So European, the Technovals, all of this thing that became bigger in some ways, in many ways, than the English thing. And then also the protest movements. And I've spoken to people who have said that the line of the protest movement came out of the sort of remnants of the Free Party scene, and became, the Newbury bypass, and then became Reclaim the Streets. And then some of those people got involved in Occupy, and then some of those people were inspired by Occupy. So it's like it became a sort of a story of seeing where this energy flowed out from this original moment. And of course, now we are in a situation with, again, a somewhat oppressive government situation in the UK. And ironically, they're trying to force through another very draconian bill connected to trespass that's going to demonise travelling communities, that's going to demonise protesters, that's going to make it illegal to have a one-person protest that is annoying somebody. I mean, it's unbelievable,
I mean, that sounds like a Monty Python sketch.
It's annoyance. I mean, it is shocking, isn't it, that one person could cause so much annoyance that they could be arrested and thrown in jail for 1 year. I mean, it could be used in the most draconian way. So the term "kill the bill," which came as a result of the criminal justice bill, is back again. And I was on a protest march with my camera just when they sort of in the start of May, and I saw a sign with somebody saying "kill the bill." I was here in '94, and I thought, there we go. The energy is still there of a certain amount of resistance to oppressive regimes, but also the right to roam, the right to be connected with other people, the right to protest, the right to party. All of these things feel about, in some ways, kind of, being free in the world to be able to do, what you feel you should. And it's certainly got massive contemporary relevance. The film is going to be unfolding over the next 3 to 6 months. So I'm editing.
Yeah,
I'm making the film based on this deadline of this Barcelona film festival, which is in November, and I've had conversations today about other possible screenings. But I would imagine the story is going to be unfolding up till then.
Yeah. So you had this. So if we wind it back a little bit, so you had your kind of Facebook group. The idea is kind of mushrooming. You're thinking this film isn't going to be just about this sphere. I'm going to widen it out to this, and this. The film's getting bigger and bigger. You then start to edit accordingly. Tell us a bit about the In-Edit Festival that you applied for, and then because the knock-on effects with that to your Kickstarter were quite fundamental, weren't they?
Yeah. So I mean, obviously, when you set up a Kickstarter campaign off your own steam, you've got to sort of start from scratch. So the best thing to do for a Kickstarter, first of all, is to create a community. First of all, is to start to talk about your film to as many people who might well be the audience for your film when you come to try to get it out in the world. And that's not necessarily just for crowdfunding, but it's anybody making a film. You've got to try to create a bit of a community around it, because eventually the sad truth in a way is that if even a distributor these days will look at how many what kind of audience you might have, and the audience that they check will be largely, or the most obvious way to check it is to check how many likes on whatever you've got on a group that you've set up. So it's a little bit sort of the cold brutality of the the nature of industry and business these days. But in terms of my specific campaign, I knew this Facebook group was proving fantastically fruitful, and the people were sharing stories and pictures, and the group was growing. But all the while, I've been applying for funding, traditional funding routes. Going to the BFI funds and various funds that pop up. Going to try to get to Sheffield Docfest to pitch the film, all the traditional routes, all the while, of course, we're talking about DIY filmmaking. And in a way, the traditional modes are you wait to get accepted by some kind of funding body. They give you a bit of money, and then that gives you a little bit of a start. The new ways of doing things tend to be this crowdfunded way round, which is that you find your audience and you get them on board to help you fund the film, and whether that's to just get started or for the whole thing, or anything in between. So I've been pitching to lots of funding bodies with getting zeros everywhere, and then I did pitch for this thing which was in association with Kickstarter, which was a special work in progress screening at the InEdit Festival, so a music documentary festival. And they are keen to show music documentaries being made, not just finished ones. So obviously for an audience of festival goers, probably quite a lot of them are filmmakers, probably also quite a lot of them might be broadcasters or what have you, and are interested in new projects that are happening. So I pitched for this particular scheme, and I got in. And the fabulous thing was that it came with some mentoring and backing by Kickstarter. So what that meant is, rather than me on my own just going, right, I'm going to make a Kickstarter campaign, because you never feel like there's the good moment for it. It's a lot of work. It's a stressful amount of work. What this meant was that they gave me a bit of a deadline. They said, well, look, you've got your film festival that's in now. You're going to do some sort of work in progress screening in November, and we will help you get your campaign underway, which has been invaluable, because I've had, the ear of somebody who's gone through the process themselves, and lots of advice and
Brilliant.
access to materials that can help. A lot of it's free stuff that you can get already actually through the various crowdfunding campaign stuff, but they pulled it all together for me. I had a chat and a mentor that was somebody who could really hone down the storytelling, and that's what you realize crowdfunding is in the end. It's your first public attempt to tell your story. Both the story of the project you're trying to get off the ground, the film, but also your story as to why somebody might want to back this project. And it's on the Kickstarter page, it's literally called Story, and you write the story of why this project is an important thing to make, and connect to your audience through that, and then obviously make a kind of a film trailer type thing. And that was the bit that I found both the best, because I made my trailer that told the film story as best as I can, because obviously I've done loads of interviews and got lots of archive already, but then I also had to talk to the audience directly to the camera, and God, that was painful, because there's nothing a filmmaker hates more than having themselves on camera.
But I think that was great that you had this fantastic looking trailer. You obviously had your piece to camera. I can understand that was excruciating for you, but still look good. Still look very good. And then also you've released these little tasters as well, which just give a lovely. I love the tone of those as well. They're much more kind of feely and kind of floaty and very kind of emotional about the time and about how people felt about being part of those parties. But all very well, they give such a flavour of the film, and I think that's really important, that you have to make something that is as good as you want your documentary to be. So even though the documentary's still in the works, you're still in the process, maybe midway or maybe even earlier or what have you, whatever stage you're at, you still have to produce these little nuggets that feel like the finished article to get people enthused and involved. And
I mean, actually, I had generally amazing responses to the first trailer I released, because it was people, I think 27,000 people have watched it or something crazy.
Amazing.
You think something that you stick online, well, that doesn't often happen. But it can. But a trailer's got to do a certain job, hasn't it? It's got to really get your attention. It's got to, as we all know, like movie trailers, sometimes they give the game away, don't they? Like when you see a movie, it was a time of war. They've got to really grab your attention. They've got to throw you through the emotion of the film. They've got to show you who the kind of antagonist and the protagonist and all of that sort of stuff. So it's a very condensed form of storytelling, and hopefully it gives a real flavour of the story, but it's got to do it in 3 minutes max.
And also do it to people who may not have knowledge of the free, but it has to be a very general introduction, pulling people into. Whereas I think the tasters that you did spoke very much to what it felt like to be part of that scene, which is going to be a flavour within your film too. But that's why I thought the trailer was great, because it just pulled people in. And then your tasters were like, and also this is going to be here as well. This is going to be for you too.
Yeah, and I mean the tasters, in a way, the trailer was banging. It has to grab your attention, and it was, all of the music was very kind of high energy, and it was, big sort of techno tracks and big sort of hardcore drum and bass type stuff. So it was really high energy, a little dramatic, but that in a way is all in the story. It's all in the film. Yeah. But the teasers could be much more reflective.
Yeah.
And that shows, like you say, the sort of yin to the yang, that there is going to be moments of thoughtfulness, moments of personal memories, and also the kind of magical sense of the time, as well as the kind of high-pitched drama.
I think your trailer said what was happening, and then the teasers kind of showed people why it was happening, what it felt like to be there in those moments. I thought that was fantastic.
That's very good to know. But I think what you do realise, and this is something that anybody who might be planning a crowdfunding campaign has got to realise, is that it's not all about that launch day. I mean, we had that funny moment where we obviously launched, recorded the launch moment, and then you kind of think, now sit back and watch. Well, actually, you've got to keep people engaged, because it's 30 days, potentially, some people do longer. It's 30 days where you've got to keep people coming back and looking. Often there's a big excitement for the first week. And thankfully, we hit our target very quickly. And so that meant that it pushed it right up to the top of the Kickstarter rating. So because, like all social media, it loves a winner. So we got to the top of the Kickstarter, projects we love, and then we were on the front page. Even for 5 days, we were on the front page of Kickstarter, and it was like, what the heck, this bizarre moment where we were on the front page of Kickstarter, and but then it will inevitably trail off, and people will look at the next thing, and somebody has launched a pack of tarot cards on Kickstarter, and that's the front page, and you're like, but what about my film?
It was me 2 weeks ago.
They loved me once, They loved my film.
I've heard
and
that.
So that's when the trailers come in, That's when dropping these other little nuggets. They can be much more thoughtful. They can be more niche. They can be more specific. Dropping tiny little things in just to keep it bubbling along, just to keep people's interest and keep the project aware. And it has worked. I mean, certainly funding wise, it really spiked. And then it started to trail off, but it's still seeing a steady but slowish increase towards our stretch goals, which is once you get your basic done, you can start to introduce some other goals and the idea is always, just maybe we could fund this project entirely DIY, before anything else, which is an incredible idea, one I didn't even think we could hope for,
which is entirely in keeping with the spirit of the thing you're making the documentary about.
It makes it for all the better a kind of complete story. So we shall see, but it's certainly adding those little things that you can drop in, little clips, little moments, stills, whatever it is throughout the campaign really help to just keep people's attention.
It's so beautiful. It's gonna be
I've heard that there's often a spike at the end of campaigns. Have you heard that as well? I've heard that I've heard there's a spike at the beginning when everyone's kind of enthused, and then it drops off, and then as the date draws near, that kind of motivates people to go. Oh, I was going to put some money in this. I'd forgotten until now, but now I'm going to. There's one day to go, so you might see a bit of a surge there, possibly.
Well, a bit of a Serge Gainsbourg. Yeah, I hope so. I think it would be amazing. I think that is built into the nature of Kickstarter's sort of structure, which is that it's a campaign. Yeah. And, it means you get a big bunch of excitement at the start. And I mean, the excitement has drawn all sorts of other benefits, which I was quite surprised by, which we'll talk about. But you get a big bunch of excitement at the start and at the end, hopefully, as people think, oh, God, there's only a few days left. I really want to put in to make sure that I'm a part of this project. So hopefully, in the next, it's basically 1 week. Hopefully in the next week, we will, get to our next stretch goal, and then, who knows?
Yeah.
But,
so you reached your first goal, like what was it, after the first day or two? Did you say
2 days? Yeah, 2 days.
2 days, and then you started getting all this press attention. You started getting little notes in the press. Tell us about that and how that kind of boosted things.
I mean, in a way, this was the big surprise because you kind of think, well, who cares about a Kickstarter campaign, but if you heard in the press about, so let's say one of our favourite filmmakers, David Lynch or Spike Lee or somebody, Werner Herzog's making a new documentary about, let's say, about free parties. Werner Herzog's making and you'd go, wow, I'd love to see that film. And he's also launched a Kickstarter campaign, and you can donate now. Well, actually, you would be really interested in that because you're in at that early stage, and we all hope to, champion projects in some way. And so I was very surprised that press would be in the remotest bit interested in, me, a fairly unknown filmmaker, kind of making a documentary. But actually, because of the subject matter and because of possibly the timing, as in it was, it feels very prescient at the moment. It's done very well. I mean, there's been all the major sort of music papers, or not papers anymore, but press, Mix Mag, DJ Mag, these sorts of places have all done articles and shown the trailer. And who knows what effect that has, but what it certainly does is when you repost, Mixmag have picked it up, it creates more excitement, even more. And so it just, again, it's about people realizing this is a viable, real thing. Yeah, it's not somebody making something up in their bedroom that they're never going to be able to achieve. It's something real. It's really happening. People in the press are talking about it. People in the press are excited about it. Yeah. And you can be involved too. So it was for sure completely surprising that and humbling that press would get hold of it in that way. You also see this weird thing about you kind of notice how it works. Is in there was 3 or 4 big publications that put the story out, and then. Of course, then you start to get slightly addicted to Googling your own project. Free party folk history documentary. And you start to go, oh, look, there's one in Spanish. And you realise it's an exact translation and copy of the DJ Mag one for a Spanish audience. Yeah. But you realise then, well, that's just the nature of it. It's another sort of the viral effect of an idea getting in front of people.
Incredible.
The other amazing effect, and this is, again, something completely that I didn't realise. But the other amazing effect of the result of doing a crowdfunding campaign is that it just gets you loads and loads of attention. And there's a scary side to that because suddenly everyone's going, hey, who's this guy who's going to make a film? But it also means I had, I don't know how many, you wouldn't believe the amount of friend requests and emails I got in the first couple of weeks, and still getting 99.99% of them extremely positive. Mainly, I'd love to help. How could I help? I do post-production, I do sound design, I'm a art worker, I'm a graphic designer, I'm all sorts of things. People really wanting to help and support. Now, of course, it can be a bit overwhelming because wow, who do I even begin to start talking to? It's so overwhelming. But then also people talking about press, about screening the film, independent screenings. This has been fabulous. Maybe 10, 15, 20 different independent screening possibilities. So, our idea and, the in a way, the sort of concept that you kind of innovated, sort of putting films on in local cinemas as a part of that sort of DIY approach. You did it the sort of for Chewing Gum Man. Well, I can really see a way where even if, eventually this film has a sort of proper distribution, as in proper, meaning TV or cinemas or whatever. Well, maybe before that, there's a brilliant festival or small scale screening run that it can go on that would just be great because it's really connecting to the audience that care about this story,
Yeah, finding an amazing venue and making it feel like a bit of a party within itself and having a screening in some, I don't know,
places all over the country, all over Europe have said, oh, when you're ready, let us know. We'd love to do a screening in, Bristol and Worthing and Brighton, all kinds of different places. And you think, well, that sounds like a fun 6 months going and meeting loads of people, doing Q&As.
I can totally see it in cinema tents in festivals as well.
Festivals, Yeah. So, as co-producer, I think you better be, driving me around.
I'll be there. So what level are we at now in terms of funding as we speak, as we're recording? What stretch goal have we hit?
Well, it becomes slightly addictive, but slightly sort of depressing and kind of scary as well. That you start. The way it works is you kind of get notifications on your phone when somebody's donated, and you think, oh my God, somebody's donated. And then, and of course, for the first 2 weeks, it was this flurry, and I was just, on a bit of a high and speaking to loads of people, and then it starts to tail off, and you start to feel the sadness creep in.
Where have
and
they
you
all
think,
gone?
You don't love me anymore. It's a little bit like, and you think, oh God, it's nuts because, of course, it's way over what I expected. But what happened in a way of like getting through our goal quite quickly was that suddenly I could see a different path for this film than I was probably envisaging before. I was thinking, scrape together whatever we can, get it to this in-edit music documentary festival. Hopefully somebody there likes it. Maybe I get a bit of, films take many, many, many supporters, backers, investors usually to get off the ground. Documentary, your average Netflix doc, I don't even know what the budget is. 300, 500 grand, whatever, loads of money, basically money that the DIY filmmaker never has. But doing it the way that I've done it, beating the kind of immediate goal, and then you start to creep up and you start to set these stretch goals of like, well, if we reach that, well, then I could get on board somebody to do some design for it, and then I could get here, and then I could do some additional filming days, as in, rather than this is the film I have, it's the one that's on the hard drive. Well, I'd really love to get out to some of those old sites and shoot some beautiful stuff of things now and connect now with then. And
you were always going to have some heavy costs with licensing, weren't you? Image.
Well, this is for sure one of the in a way the higher that we can reach, the closer we can to a finished film, but the licensing costs of music and footage cannot be underestimated. I mean, the Gettys of the world, the ITNs of the world, and also the music tracks, it's astronomical levels of funding. So it makes sense that an indie documentary that's based on archive is going to really struggle because there is such high costs associated with archive and with music. So the more money that comes in, the more that actually, hey, well, maybe for a festival run, we could pay for those licenses. We could get it so that it's watchable by as many people, at least for a festival run, as possible, as a entirely independently funded project. And it's a kind of, I mean, I never would have thought that would be possible 3 weeks ago. That would have been complete head in the clouds, but it starts to look possible. So we are going back to your original question. Today we're at 27.581k, so 27,581 quid, with 528
Amazing.
wonderful backers. I love you
You
all.
beautiful, beautiful people.
Yes, I mean, it's just amazing. 7 days to go from today, so it'll end at 9:49 a.m. on the 17th of June.
So there we go. So this episode will probably go out a couple of days before that. So get to Kickstarter, search Free Party,
Yeah.
and be a part of history, guys.
Yeah, well, yes. And I'm hoping we have a real party off the back of the whole thing at the end of it. We certainly got the music covered with all of the different people involved.
Yes. And maybe people are listening to this episode and it's past the date. Let's say, we've missed the Kickstarter campaign. How can people kind of help and get involved, if they've missed that?
Well, it's a good question. I mean, I've already had people sort of saying to me, I don't want to put money through Kickstarter because I don't have a bank account. And of course you think, well, of course, not everybody has. Some people are off grid,
Yeah.
So I've just said, look, that's a wonderful thing that you would want to support the project, and I will find a way for people to support it outside traditional methods. I mean, of course, I'm concentrated on this campaign for the next little bit, but after that, obviously, if you have footage, stills, stories that you're happy to contribute, then that's an amazing way to contribute to the film. Or if you have skills, that's another way to contribute to the project. And then, I may set up some kind of whatever, donate button at some point in the future once the dust has settled. But
people from the community that you've been tapping into online and people that you've met through the making of the film, have they been happy to donate photographs and video for you to use in the film?
Yeah, I mean, what I've always said, and this is the way I would like for it to run, is that I won't use anybody's material without full consent, and I'll get a license from everybody who donates something. How that will pan out really depends on how funded the project is. But I would like to, in some way, if we went into profit, to share that profit amongst all the people who contributed material properly.
Right. Yeah.
So I will create some, in a way I can't know what that means at the moment, because if this is the last penny that ever there is for this project, then the chances of any kind of film being made is still quite slim. But the idea I've had is that anybody who contributes kind of like their own footage, their own stills, I will license fully for any kind of release to the world, any kind of commercial release, and that will be based on some kind of profit share or some kind of minimum something, So because I for certainly don't want people to feel like I'm just taking all of their memories and making a film out of it for my own glorification. It's a passion project. I spent 3 years making it. I've put I don't even know how much of my own money and time into the project. It doesn't, it's not about that for me. I want to see it to the finish. There's an amazing audience for it. I know there is. And if ever there was any sort of a profit or any sort of, if it was bought by whomever, my idea is that anybody who has contributed footage and stills, I will license that in a fair way across the board, so everybody will get a kind of a fair recompense for that.
You are listening to DIY Cinema Cult.
So, Aaron, people might be listening to this who maybe they've got this project in mind. It's a passion project. They need a boost. They need some money to get themselves started, or maybe they've got something. They need some money to finish it. What would be your tips to them if they're new to Kickstarter or any crowdfunding kind of a platform? What would your kind of main headline tips for them be?
Well, the first most important thing is to don't launch a Kickstarter until you've got some sense of your audience. It's the most essential thing, because you're in a bubble of your friends then, and that's it. So expect that if you launch a Kickstarter campaign without having built an audience first, then the only people who are going to put into your campaign is your mum and dad and your 10 mates who think you're cool, and that's it. Sadly, that is just the case. No, it's very, very unlikely that you're going to be discovered on Kickstarter, the platform itself, without having a bit of an audience. The first thing is find and build your audience. Make them know that you're as passionate about the story that they would love to see as you, and make them your first advocates. Get them talking about it. Get them, and don't do it in a cynical way, because if you do that, then they'll see right through it, right? So create something that is genuinely, something people want to be a part of. Second thing is to really write down what the project is fully, and write that down in as many simplified forms as you can. So you need some kind of synopsis. You need sort of stills that are going to support that. You need sound bites, you need imagery, you need artwork. If it's a drama, references. If it's a documentary, your contributors, gather it all together in a document. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just something that you're chipping away at. So first thing is that community, your audience. Second thing is the story. Create a kind of a book, a PDF or whatever it is that's gathered all of that together. And then third, get the timing right, because it isn't a walk in the park. It's you've got to get the moment that you're ready to spend 30 days, probably 30 days in advance of the campaign launching, the 30 days of the campaign itself, and then you've got fulfillments afterwards, because of course chances are you're going to offer rewards. And I've got rewards of great stuff that people have donated to the campaign but I've still got to deliver those rewards. It's 250 t-shirts to get out to people. There's stickers, there's all sorts of things to be done. So really get your timing right. Make sure you've got enough time to prepare, that you launch it at the right moment, a moment that your audience is on side, and that you've got time afterwards to fulfill what you said you can. And then the very final thing, I think, is amongst your community, your audience, get people really, and they'll probably bubble to the surface actually, get people who will be your real key advocates, so that it's not just you endlessly posting on your social media platform. And I'm sure, I did it mostly through Facebook, because it's the one I used to build the group up, but people are probably equally able to do this on Instagram or TikTok or whoever knows what else. But get those people who will talk about it, who will send it out to their mates, who will post it on every possible group. So it's not just you, because if it's just you, people will go, oh, that guy, that whoever, constantly badgering us about this project. It'll bore people. People will just go numb to it. Whereas if it's 10 different people and they're all talking about it in different groups and different places, then it feels more like it is, that this is something really worth getting into, really something worth getting involved with. So those would be the four main things: that community, that sort of that kind of audience first of all, then the storytelling part of that, then the timing of the campaign, and giving yourself the time before and after, and then those advocates, those people that are gonna be way more effective than you know. And I mean, I've had people just constantly posting night and day, you know, I mean, amazing stuff, saying, oh, I found out how many likes I've got from my post, and you're like, wow, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And they're just people who just really want to see your project come to life. So they're better than any PR company, better than, and of course, you know, yes, you can go down that route of having professional PR and press and all of that, and I'm sure that's really worthwhile too. And you get a lot of junk mail over the first week saying we're a company that can give you 1 million customers, etc. You get all that stuff, but actually those advocates for you are going to be the most important, because they're your real fans already, and you haven't even made your film yet.
Such an amazingly successful Kickstarter campaign. I mean, congratulations to you for that. I think you've done it brilliantly well.
Well, thank you. Well, I mean, you know, I think the DIY ethos is in some way in full effect, and so, you know, I guess what we started a little while ago is in some way manifesting itself through this project.
It is, because it is. I mean, this is truly so far. I mean, God knows what will happen when we get to the In-Edit Festival and who might pick it up and take it from there. Because, like you say, documentary filmmaking, especially with features, has such a long life, and it needs so many people to come together to bring the film out. But thus far, it's been a completely DIY enterprise, and you've been out shooting on your own or with a handful of people, and going out doing interviews, getting your talking heads, getting your interviews down. So you've just done so well. You've come a long way.
Well, thank you, mate, and thank you for to be my co-producer. And I look forward to us screening the film at some point. And of course, there's an added bonus of the In-Edit Festivals at my 50th birthday anniversary. So that's my 50th birthday.
We will be doing a DIY Cinema Cult episode in Barcelona then, I'm sure.
Oh, we got to do it. Listeners, it's worth keeping that subscribe button ticked just
Please
for that.
like and subscribe.
Keep it locked for Barcelona.
We're going international.
COVID restrictions, of course, may change things, but somewhere off La Ramblas with some patatas bravas and a San Miguel in our hand, hopefully.
Oh, mate.
DIY forever, eh?
DIY forever.
Yeah.
And anyone listening, if you want to get involved, Kickstarter, look for Free Party, a folk history of the Free Party movement, right? Is that the name?
Yeah,
the
Free Party,
title?
a documentary, or Free Party, a folk history of the Free Party movement. Yeah, I'm just... any of those should get you there, or through Google or through Kickstarter itself. So great stuff.
All right, guys. So get involved. Get donating.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get involved. Get involved, lad.
Let's get this film all lovely and made.
Yes, lovely made.
Lovely made film.
Thank you for anybody who's out there who has supported the film thus far. It really, literally makes all the difference. If you have pledged, if you have shared it, if you're skint and you can't do any of those things, just posting it is a big help. It's just one of those, the way it works. So you've
had such brilliant support, and going by the seeing the people online and their comments, you've got the best kind of people behind you as well.
Well,
so
for sure.
So keep donating, keep supporting. All right, listeners, we are going to be signing off and saying night.
Sayonara.
Night. Love you,
listeners. Arrivederci.
Free Party. Follow us on Twitter at DIY Cinema Cult, or on Instagram we are DIY_cinema_cult. Seek out the DIY Cinema Cult group on Facebook, or why not email us at DIYcinemacult@gmail.com. Follow us.